Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show here on the Delta Report on this Thursday, the 17th of March, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, you know what's going on? I'll tell you, I think Putin over there in Russia has found his way out of this situation. You know, people in Russia right now, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. If they hold up a blank piece of paper in front of them, the police will come right over and arrest them. And they're going to get put on a list when that happens. You know what? It's not going to end up well for them. Not at all. And so all dissent in Russia, I guess, from what I understand, even if they say the word war or whatever, freedom is being lost in Russia at an absolutely alarming rate. And in fact, this is going to be, well, Putin's going to be able to do whatever he wants to do. Russian people aren't going to say anything against him at all for fear. And what does this mean? This means the war machine can roll on as far as it's able to. And he's got a considerable war machine, especially when you count all of his nuclear arsenal. It's a bad situation for everybody on Earth. You know, maybe the only way out, really out, for the whole Earth right now, because we got a corrupted monetary system. And part of these problems that we're seeing in the world are directly related to our corrupted monetary system. But you know what? Cryptocurrency is not a corrupted monetary system, especially the decentralized cryptocurrencies. Perhaps this is the only way out for the world to move back toward normal again in an abnormal world that, given our power over to the political structure, which is something that's come from the ancient world where we used to have kings and queens and emperors, and now we got the modern day version of an emperor. And when you get a despot type emperor in place that can't be unseated and can do whatever he wants, make the decisions for the people, this is people giving their control over to one person, ultimate control. And when that happens, you know, if the people of Earth want answers, and if they want justice, they need to rely upon themselves rather than putting all their faith in one person and giving all of the control over to one particular person, like electing an emperor for life. You know, I'm going to tell you, the people of Earth are putting themselves in a position then at that point where untold misery to the people and untold amounts of glory to that one particular person who is in complete control. And any person that says anything other than that in the whole world, the whole world of whatever country gives their power over to what particular emperor, they're just eliminated from the scene. They're gone. Poof. Vanish into thin air. You know, and we've seen this happen, but now the world's going back to a period that, to me, is indistinguishable from what we went through in World War II, and everybody out there, the veterans of World War II, all said, never again. It's happening. Except it's happening in the nuclear age. So it's an untenable situation that's happening to the world, and it's happening very, very quickly. So we see evidence of this when human rights are violated. We see evidence of this where freedom of expression is squashed. We see evidence of this where freedom is eroded and democracy is crushed underneath the heel of totalitarianism. You cannot raise your children and have security in a world that's complete and total totalitarianism. And so that's where the world's headed, sadly. How does freedom survive? Well, it never survives without a struggle, an absolute struggle, and people out there putting their lives on the line in order to. This is why they said never again. They never wanted this to happen again, that the world descend into a period of darkness, a purge of humanity by tyrannical dark forces that remanifest themselves. It's sad, actually. But this is part of a reflection of the Ponzi scheme that the central banks have become. This is why I say a reflection is this is a consequence. It's what manifests itself when you have a corrupt system running the world, you know. And what I say, we have the new technology. We have blockchain type technology now. Technologies. We've advanced actually past blockchain. And, you know, everybody out there is frightened of AI. Oh, they're terrified of AI. What you should be frightened of is world leaders out there. Because a computer AI, world leaders are corrupt. You can't corrupt an AI. You can't bribe it. You can't. But world leaders can be bribed, and they have the power of an AI. But basically, they are an AI. They are like an AI in the sense that they have conscious awareness, like an AI does. But they also have the frailties of human emotion that can lead them into atrocities. So people are frightened in the wrong direction. They're frightened of AI, but AI, artificial intelligence, along with the computer system we have now, we've reached a hurdle in which we could blow ourselves all up because we've got an unjust, corrupt system. And AI connected with blockchain type technologies can move the world into a position where it can take the authority away from these authoritarian rulers who have all power and all authority and can completely take the world and descend it toward atrocities on an unimaginable scale, where we could have a world that is run much more efficiently if you can't bribe the. Anyway, I'm kind of straying offline a little bit here, but we're not going to get rid of technology. We're not going to move backwards to the point we were back when we had a more utopic type society that was run with simple machinery. Back before the days of steam engines, even when the power was manual, horses and buggies. We're not going to move back to that. Now we're in the technological age. We can't forget the inventions that we've made over the last hundreds of years during the Industrial Revolution. But we've moved into a very dangerous period in time right now where we could basically all blow ourselves up and end up going extinct in a nuclear irradiated world where the only thing that's able to survive is scorpions and bugs survive the radiation. Or we could move into a society that is governed by a force that is non-corruptible, that would lead to humanity not having to be ruled with an iron fist, so to speak, but to be ruled in a way where all humans have rights, and also there's no human rights violations anymore, to a free and open society. So the way I see it is technology can be a very bad thing that could destroy humanity, but it can also be a very good thing if we move to that next level, which is some sort of an autonomous government that is structured in a way where it's uncorruptible. Because it's basically run by machine. It would take the work off of all of us. We wouldn't have to go through all these elective processes anymore, because the government would be stable and secure, and it would be all run by computer. And it would cost a lot less, because you wouldn't have to have all those government workers, pencil pushers. An army. Right now we have an army of pencil pushers in the world. You know? And the government is unstructured, it's corrupt, and it's not effective at doing its job. You know? So, way I see it, blockchain technology can cure these problems. We have the answers right now. It's just that we haven't been able to implement these answers to the problems that we have in the world. In other words, we're a screwed up mess. We're a hot mess. And we can't get our act together. And we might blow ourselves all up before we can actually implement something better. Something that is not, how can I put it, not a confused hot mess, but orderly and structured, and create a world where our children and stuff are safe and secure. And this new technology of a digital automated ledger on computer could be the answer to humanity's problems. But, you know, these world leaders out there are not going to give up their power to a computer, because they're living the life. They're walking on all of us. They're got their foot on all of our necks. But, you know, at a certain point, that might not work anymore. When it might get to the point where the whole system might disintegrate down to a point where we're almost into the point of a Mad Max world. And we might lose a significant portion of the population before we realize that, hey, you know what? We need a government that's effective and can't be corrupted anymore. And we might have to lose, I don't know, 90% of the world's population before it dawns on us, hey, you know, we've got to get our act together worldwide, and we've got to have a government that's incorruptible. And then we might have to start all over again, because of the mess that we've created by giving our power and authority of the people over to a bunch of corrupt, nasty politicians who strive and struggle for power, and ultimately they all want to be an emperor, or have the powers of an emperor, and be able to say, well, take that group of people and take them away because they don't agree with me. They don't agree with my policies. Take them off to a place, and let's not hear from them anymore, ever again. You know, this kind of power that all of these world leaders, let's face it, that's what they all want. They all want that kind of power, that complete utter dictatorial power over the people. And the people give it to them. People say, yeah, here you have it. Go ahead, put your foot on my neck. You know, what's this thing about the world being so submissive to authority? You know, How do we get out of this situation that we're in? Do we have to go through the same damn thing we went through back in World War II all over again, but this time with nuclear weapons? Because that's where we're at right now. And I mean, there's a lot of people out there who aren't paying much attention, you know. They're doing their own thing, but they will pay attention when they first NUKEs go off. Because that's also where we're headed down the road at some point. Because when you get these, call them mini emperors or whatever they are in a particular country, that they're nuke powers now. And we're descending toward that complete monopoly of power ultimately, and then they'll fight against one another because of sovereign nations. You got the sovereign nations, all the world. They've divided all the world up into these sovereign nations, and each sovereign nation gets their own little Napoleon, and then the Napoleons decide to fight against one another, and what happens is you get war, and then the war escalates, and because we're in the nuclear age, where do we go from there? Well, then the world's going to have to wake up at a certain point. When are they going to wake up? When they see the mushroom cloud. That's when the whole world wakes up at once, and they say, what in the hell's going on? Because now we face the end or extinction of our entire species because of what we've done. How do we change this? It's not going to be easy to change it because you got these little Napoleons in power, and they ain't going to let go without exterminating all of you with their power that they have, which is the nuclear age. Bad situation we're in. People don't realize the extent of how powerful this situation is or how to get out of it. The people don't. But it's like I say, you got the majority of the population who's not paying any attention. But they will pay attention. They will pay attention when they get that first flash. Bang. That'll wake them up. The flash bang. You know what I'm talking about? The flash that can be seen around the world of a bright pow in a cloud in the shape of a mushroom. That'll wake them up en masse. Then what'll they do? What direction will they take? Do they know how to get out from the situation that they've created for themselves at that point? I don't know. But that's where we're descending toward. It might not happen this week. It might not happen this month. It might not happen the month after that. But that's where we're headed if we don't get something done to change things. Because right now, you got all the countries in the western side realizing the situations, and they've got their factories are going on high steam, high alert to build their militaries bigger and greater and stronger. And don't you think the eastern side isn't doing the same thing? So we got two diametrically opposed sides here of the world. We got east and west. And they're all going into a military thing where they're all building up now. They're building up for what? The great war to end all wars. Will end all wars, because I'm going to tell you what, they'll fight this war with their technological weapons, but if they do it successfully, the next war will be fought with sticks and stones. So World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. What kind? I mean, actually, it won't even be fought with sticks and stones. There won't be anybody to fight. You won't even be able to survive unless you're underground. There'll be so much radiation. Species ending event is facing us right in the face right now. The world's taking no notice, and we're descending toward that. And we got to pull back. We got to pull back on the reins. Otherwise, we're going to go over the cliff. All of us. Maybe not this month, maybe not next month, but it might be next year or the year after that. Because we're heading toward this at a rapid rate. And what was once the unthinkable, mutual assured destruction, is now being chatted about. I watch YouTube. I watch the channels on there, and I can see an awful lot of the videos that are being pulled up are videos on Fallout and things like that. People are starting to get interested now. Reason why they're getting interested is because they see the possibility. We shouldn't be made to see the possibility. We should have a world that's running away where there is no possibility of that ever happening. Bye-bye, guys.